Hello everyone, welcome to my channel. I hope everyone is having a wonderful day. Before starting the video, please go ahead and hit the subscribe button and give this video a like up. Young and Restless rubs salt in fans' wounds with one last diss to a legacy character, and beloved family. Young and Restless fans are on the rampage, and rightly so, after the posthumous treatment received by a core character who was arguably treated like a day player even before his death. As we dive into this insult, be sure to drop your vote at the end. Chance, the last remaining on-screen member of one of Young and Restless' original families, the Chancellors, was reduced to playing the town cop before being killed off during Kane Ashby's train/maze misadventure in Nice, France. We could understand the need to write him out, given that Connor Floyd was leaving YNR to take a role on Days of Our Lives. But we hoped against hope that the detective would just be written out, thus leaving the door open for a future return by Floyd or a recast. Instead, he perished on-screen. Sadly, Chance's presence at the chateau in Nice has never been properly explained. There was a vague reference to Kane thinking someone was out to kill him, but no follow-up, so we don't even know why Chance died. But it gets worse. One of the biggest complaints about the Adventures of Ashby storyline is that Jill wasn't involved. Indeed, it would have added a significant impact to Chance's death to have had his beloved grandmother there when it occurred, but she wasn't. In fact, she wasn't even allowed to be angry with Kane about him inviting Chance to what would ultimately be his demise. If all of that isn't bad enough, the writers managed to diss Chance and the Chancellor family one last time as they handled the aftermath. When Christine and Danny popped up on an episode of Young and Restless this week, we were shocked to learn that Chance's funeral had already taken place off-screen in Los Angeles, rather than in Genoa City. Seriously? The only possible positive to come out of this would have been fans getting to mourn along with Nina and Jill, or at least his exes. We've not set eyes on Abby or Dom. Summer's off-screen, and Sharon will react as though she hardly knew him. The whole reason we're here is for those feels, folks. Fans were not shy about expressing their thoughts, but that's not all. In one final insult, we had to hear characters lament that Nina had lost her only son, when we all know full well she has two. Yes, the writers managed to delete Chance's brother, Nina's other son, Ronan Malloy, from the show. Whether it was inadvertent or deliberate, it defined the term adding insult to injury. We have to call the fumbles as we see them, and this one was a biggie by Young and Restless. Do you think Chance deserved to have an on-screen funeral? Vote. Soap operas are supposed to make us feel. That's their mission, their bread and butter, the very fuel that keeps fans tuning in 5 days a week. They're designed to stir up passion, ignite debates, bring tears, and yes, spark outrage when a story takes a turn that feels like a betrayal. And lately, The Young and the Restless has been doing something that has soap lovers fuming, not because the drama is flat but because it's cutting into the heart of Genoa City itself. Fans are now accusing the writers of pulling a downright dirty trick, rubbing salt into the wounds of loyal viewers by taking aim at a legacy character and, by extension, the family they represent. This wasn't just a misstep in storytelling, it felt like a pointed diss, a symbolic move that undermined years of history, and if you think fans are simply shrugging this off, think again. They've taken to social media in waves, uniting in frustration, confusion, and outright fury. Their response isn't just about a single storyline, it's about what this means for the long-term legacy of YNR. After all, when a show begins disrespecting its own pillars, is anything sacred? Let's unpack exactly what went down, why it's hitting such a raw nerve, and what fans are now demanding in response, demands that might actually surprise you. Chapter 1. The legacy factor. To understand the full weight of this controversy, you first have to appreciate what a legacy character really means to a soap. These aren't just fan favorites. They're the living, breathing links to the show's past, the connective tissue that keeps 2025's Genoa City tethered to its 1973 roots. Think of characters like Victor Newman, Nikki Reed, Jack Abbott, Ashley Abbott, and Catherine Chancellor in her day. They're more than story participants, they're anchors. When they're treated with reverence, fans feel rewarded for sticking around. When they're ignored, dismissed, or worse, mocked, fans feel personally disrespected. So when the Young and the Restless chose to diminish a legacy character in the most dismissive way possible, it wasn't just bad writing. It was viewed as an attack on history itself. Chapter 2. the final diss that crossed the line. The scene itself wasn't flashy. It didn't involve explosions, kidnappings, or even a high-stakes courtroom showdown. But that's partly why it stung so much. Instead, the character, let's call them, spoiler, because at this point, the shock is as much in who it was as in what happened, was subjected to a quiet burial of dignity. Not a literal death, but the kind of writing choice that says, this person no longer matters. Their family no longer matters. Their contributions are nothing more than set dressing. Whether it was an insulting throwaway line, a humiliating defeat at the hands of a newer, flashier rival, or a story that deliberately undercut everything they'd built, the intent was clear. This wasn't about creating drama, this was about erasure, and fans saw right through it. Chapter 3, The Wound that never healed. To make matters worse, this wasn't the first time this character and their family had been disrespected. For months, maybe even years, their airtime had been shrinking, their stories reduced to crumbs, and their once proud position in Genoa City left to gather dust. Fans had already been nursing the hurt of neglect. They'd watched new families, like the Newmans or even the Winters, step into spotlight after spotlight, while this other family, one that had been central to the show's DNA, was treated like background noise. So when the final diss landed, it didn't feel like just one bad day at the office for the writers. It felt like the culmination of a long, slow, painful dismissal. The wound was already open. And now the writers had grabbed a handful of salt and ground it in. Chapter 4, Fan backlash reaches a fever pitch. The backlash was instant. Social media lit up within minutes of the scene airing. Tweets, Facebook threads, Instagram reels, TikToks, you name it, fans were venting everywhere. Phrases like, "I can't believe they did," spoiler, like this. This is the ultimate slap in the face to the fans who've been here since day one. How dare they erase this family's history? If the spoiler doesn't get justice, I'm done with this show. The intensity of the anger was unlike anything seen in years. Viewers weren't just disappointed, they were calling for boycotts, demanding apologies, and organizing hashtags to trend their frustration, and their fury wasn't confined to spoiler. Many pointed out that if this kind of treatment could happen to one family, then no family is safe. The Abbotts? The Chancellors? Even the Newmans someday? Fans were suddenly worried about the entire legacy structure of Y and R. Chapter 5, What Fans Want. Nowhere's where things get interesting. Fans aren't just asking for the usual soap fixes like bring them back or give them more airtime. No, they've leveled up. Their demands are sharper, more specific, and downright shocking. They want an on-screen reckoning, not a quiet course correction, but a storyline where Genoa City itself acknowledges the disrespect and restores the character/family's dignity. Leadership change. Some are calling for the firing of head writers and producers, claiming this disrespect stems from people who don't appreciate YNR's history. A fan council, believe it or not, petitions are circulating demanding CBS bring in a fan advisory board to prevent future legacy erasure. A rival family rebuild. Many fans want the disrespected family to come roaring back with new members, old returns, and fresh plots that outshine the Newmans and Abbotts combined. Justice for spoiler, perhaps the wildest demand. Some fans want spoiler to literally humiliate the character who delivered the diss. They don't just want redemption, they want revenge. Chapter 6, The Writer's Dilemma. Now, this puts the young and the restless in a tricky spot. Soap writers thrive on outrage, to a point. If fans are angry but still watching, that's success. But when anger starts tipping toward boycotts and tune-outs, the balance is lost. What's happening now is a case study in that balance tipping. The outrage is no longer fueling conversation in a positive way, it's risking long-term loyalty. Because unlike a murder mystery or a love triangle, this isn't about plot. It's about respect. And once fans feel disrespected, it's hard to win them back. Chapter 7, The Bigger Picture. Our legacy family's doomed. This isn't just about one character. It's about what kind of soap YNR wants to be in 2025 and beyond. Does it want to be a show that honors its foundation, giving room for Newmans, Abbotts, Chancellors, and beyond to coexist with new blood? Or does it want to chase the fresh and flashy, even if that means dismantling its roots? Fans are making it loud and clear. Without roots, there's no tree. Without legacy, there's no young and restless. And if CBS doesn't hear that,
Where do we
they
go
risk
from
turning
here?
their
The
most
ball
loyal
is now in the
viewers
writer's court.
into their harshest
They could double
critics,
down,
hoping the controversy fizzles out. Or they could recognize the depth of fan investment and craft a course correction storyline that restores balance. The question is, do they have the courage to admit they went too far? And equally important, will fans give them the chance to fix it? Final thoughts: soap operas survive on passion, and right now, The Young and the Restless has sparked a tidal wave of it, though not in the way they intended. By dissing a legacy character and their family, they've ignited not just outrage, but a movement. The irony? In trying to silence history, they've made it louder than ever, because one thing soap fans will never, ever allow is for their beloved families, the very soul of Genoa City, to be erased without a fight. And judging by the fury we've seen, this fight is only just beginning.